We on the record here?
We're getting ready to go on the record. Can you tell me your name?
I'm here on special appearance.
Okay, but I don't know which person's on special appearance. I got 12 people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. Most of them are males. So I understand you probably don't want to say, but I have no idea who you are. So I'm guessing, because my staff told me you were John. Would I be all right with that?
Yes.
Okay. And I understand you're on special appearance, but I have to make sure that I got the right case on the record. So we will be on the record then with the People's State of Michigan versus John Wayne Vincent, file 210698SM. Would the prosecutor please identify themselves for the record?
Thank you, Patrick Swinsky for the people.
Okay. And sir, you are right now representing yourself. Is that true?
Yes.
Okay. How long have you been in jail?
29 days.
Well, we probably should do something about that, I would guess. Okay. Are you planning on continuing to represent yourself, or are you planning on hiring an attorney
Yes.
or request court-appointed attorney?
I'm going to continue to represent myself.
Okay. So what do you do for a living, John?
I'm a maintenance man.
Okay. What kind of maintenance do? You do industrial, or you do residential, or a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything.
Okay. You ever run across something you don't know how to do, like some of those motherboards and maybe like a washing machine or something?
This is irrelevant to this case, Your Honor.
Well, kind of is relevant just because you may not know how to represent yourself in court. That's the problem I'm getting to. Just like I'm right now trying to rebuild my camper. My bed is tumbled in, and I thought I fixed it, and guess what? I didn't. So now I got to go ask somebody to help me figure out how to make it happen.
I carry and reserve all of my rights per UCC 1-308, and I do not consent to any contract.
Okay. Well, we're not asking you to consent to a contract. Let me just see if Mr. Swinsky's got any offer for you to think about. Mr. Swinski?
No, there's no offer in this case, Your Honor. There was a fairly significant amount of injury here, so I'm not going to extend any offer at this time.
Is it just, it looks like it's charged just with domestic violence. There's not consideration for the modifying it if there was significant injury?
No, it's not to that extent, but there was injury, Your Honor.
Okay. All righty. So, Mr. Vincent, you I presume, wish to have a jury trial?
No, I expect this to end now.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What did you say? You spend to what?
Oh, I don't understand. I was assaulted by a woman and brought her back to life off my bathroom floor. I found her drugs and dumped them out, and she attacked me. I told the sheriff that.
Okay.
I told the sheriff I took something from her. Your Honor, I don't understand the charges, and without prejudice under Uniform Commercial Code UCC 1-308, due to mistakes in fact and law, I wish to remain silent.
You can. You have absolute right to remain silent. The issue, though, is I have to determine, because we've set it probably for a jury trial. I just have to figure out, because I understand that you want to represent yourself. I just would need to know what mechanism that you wish to do. And I want to respect your right to remain silent. I just am trying to figure out which way. And it seems to me it makes more sense for you to have a jury trial, but those are a little more tricky. I know you don't want to have. Okay. Well, that's probably why you should have an attorney.
I've done nothing wrong. I've committed no crime. I was attacked, and I stated that to the sheriff.
Okay, and you have a right to have a day in court to do that. But they must have some facts to think it's different than what you said. And I don't know the facts of the case because I've not I've not reviewed the police report. They don't give me the police report. So let's see. Are you currently on probation anywhere?
Yes.
To circuit court, Judge Beal or Judge Karras?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I just want to make sure that they might have known about this. Oh, I see. Michigan Department of Corrections probation since January 9th of 2020. Okay. Who do you talk with at the probation department? Do you remember that person's name?
Rob Winkowski.
Okay.
Winkowski, yeah.
Winkowski. That's right. I haven't seen Rob in a while. Okay. Well, we have to do something with the bond, Mr. Shawinski. We have got an individual that's been in jail for more than a 28-day time period. Let me see what his bond terms are. I don't want to ask any questions about the incident, but I do need to figure out, because if I'm planning on making some modification to your bond, in other words, to let you out of jail, I just need to know how you know the other person that's in this case, because if they live at the same place, I got to put a no contact order in place. And I just don't know you or the other person that you said that you saved their life.
Her name was Jennifer Holder. She was my girlfriend. She has a medical condition where her brain bleeds and it causes anger and rage. She sees things, hears things, paranoia. This goes on. There's 5 strokes and there's 5 stroke lesions on her brain that bleeds. And sometimes she acts out. And when she does drugs, it's even worse.
Okay.
Your Honor?
Must be very, yes.
It appears, according to Jail Tracker, there is a open probation violation in, I believe it would be Circuit Court 19-8322FH.
Is there any scheduled dates for that?
Let me look really quick, sir.
Looks like we got all the terms of probation or a bond posted of $500.
I'm looking on their ROA right now, sir.
Which judge? Which judge?
It is Judge Karras, sir. On 8, an attorney was appointed, Mr. Burton.
No, I have no attorney at Burton, not at all.
Okay, and a notice was sent out. He has a hearing at 6/28 at 8:30. Status conference.
Can we set a status conference in this case the Tuesday after, first available Tuesday after that date?
Yes, sir.
So, John, I understand you disagree with the system, and I know that you have stated your position that you're not under contract and whatnot. What I have to do, though,
I haven't done nothing wrong. I did not assault nobody. I was assaulted myself, and I stated that to the sheriff.
Yes, and you have an absolute
right.
And the bruises
on me can show it. He took pictures of me, and there's bruises on me. The only reason there's a bruise on her because she fell face first off the toilet, where she was half dead, fell on her face, and that's the only reason she has a bruise.
Okay. Well, that's certainly something we'll do for a jury. So let's set it.
I don't understand where you're going with this, Your Honor. I've done nothing wrong.
Well, that's.
Your Honor, the date.
Go ahead.
The date will be July 6th at 9:45 a.m.
All right. All right. So, Mr. Vincent, there's a difference between understanding.
There's no difference. I was assaulted, Your Honor. I was assaulted. I did nothing wrong.
Hang on, just a minute. I was talking about some words. There's a difference between, hang on. There's a difference between understanding and agreeing with somebody. It's okay if you disagree. It's okay if you disagree with me, but I believe you probably understand. And so I need to talk with you just to understand. It's okay if you, at the end of it, and I say, you understand, but you disagree. That's okay. It's all right if we disagree with one another. We can do that. So let's go and unmute him again. So I just need to make sure that I've got to an understanding. So, all right, Mr. Benson, hang on. We can only one of us talk at a time so we can hear each other. Can we go down and unmute him again, Katrina?
I did send a request. They have to hit a button over there.
Oh, is there a deputy sheriff in the room with you? What I guess I'll do, Katrina, we've got the pretrial date set, or a settlement conference date. I'm going to revoke his district court bond so he gets credit for this case. All right, so he's back. All right, Mr. Vincent, it's okay if we disagree, and I understand we won't agree on it, but there's a difference between understand and agree. I get it. You don't agree, you should be charged. You believe that you're innocent.
And I don't understand these charges.
Well, understanding is different than agreeing, but it's important for us to communicate because it's in your best interest. You can figure out the best way to go, right? If you just say you don't understand something, I don't think that's necessarily true. And you don't seem to be the type of person who's an untruthful person. The issue is disagreeing with me is fine.
I'm glad you see I'm not untruthful. I'm telling you the truth here. I was attacked.
Okay.
And I've done nothing wrong, Your Honor. Absolutely nothing. 100%. God as my witness.
Okay. But when you say you don't even understand you're charged with a crime,
I haven't seen even a discovery packet. That's a violation of my due process right there. And I haven't talked to the prosecutor before this.
Okay. Well,
I'm representing myself, so there's 2 violations on your own law.
Okay. Well, we're going to have a date for you. I'm revoking your bond on this district court case because otherwise you're technically out on bond while you're sitting in jail. Your circuit court case, Mr. Wenglakowski's case, the one with Judge Karras, even if I said, hey, let John go, they wouldn't let you go because the circuit court case is what's holding you. So I'm going to revoke the bond so you get credit for this case at the same time. We're going to be adjourned until July the 6th on this case. All right, Mr. Benson, good luck to you, sir.
Honor of Taylor Dobson.
All right, calling the case of the people, state of Michigan versus Taylor Dobson. This is file 21-0198-ST. The prosecutor, please identify yourself for the record.
I do so on behalf of the people.
Ms. Dobson, if you would state your name for the record so we can see if we can hear you.
Taylor Dobson.
All right, today's time and date set for pre-trial and looks like a settlement conference. So I suspect that you had some homework to do. Did you get your homework done?
I believe I did, yes.
So you have a valid license now?
I do.
All right, Deb, can we verify that?
Her driver's license is valid and good until August 7th, 2024.
All right. Ms. Dusso, is there an offer in the case for Ms. Dobson to consider?
Yes, Your Honor. With her license being valid, she can plead to allowing driving while license suspended. We would dismiss the driving while license suspended first.
Ms. Dobson, do you understand what the offer is, or would you like me to explain it to you?
I understand.
Do you wish to accept the offer, or do you wish to have a trial on the driving while license suspended and risk losing your license again?
I accept the offer.
Okay. Could you raise your right hand where I can see it? Other right hand, please. There you go. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give is truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You can put your hand down now. Oh, it happens all the time because people just mirror what I'm doing, so I pay really close attention. Has anyone promised you anything more than what we've talked about on the record or threatened you in any way to get you to plead to this charge when you really do not want to?
No.
Are you right now under the influence of any medicine, drugs, or alcohol that's confusing you?
No.
If you enter this plea, you will be waiving some valuable rights. I'm not trying to change your mind, but I do need to make sure you understand those rights. Those rights are the right to a trial. You could have had a trial by jury, or if you and the prosecutor agreed, could have had a bench trial, but there'll be no trial at all. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You'll be waiving the right to representation by an attorney. You could have hired one, or if you qualified, I could have appointed one for you, but you'll be making this decision on your own. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You'll be waiving the right to remain silent and not have your silence used against you, and the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And finally, you'll be waiving the right to confront your accusers, to call witnesses, and to testify. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Knowing rights and waiving them are different. You planning on waiving those rights?
I don't believe so. No.
Okay, well, let me rephrase it. In order for me to accept the plea to the reduced charge, you would have to waive those rights.
Okay.
Otherwise, you need to have a trial. Do you waive those
Okay.
rights?
Yes.
Okay, I'm showing you on the computer screen. You probably see the original charge. Do you see it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yes.
you have to say yes or no, because I can kind of understand what you're saying, but I want to make sure that we're clear. You can
Okay.
see that there is no count two, but we're going to pretend that there is, because that's the one you want to plead to. So how do you plead to an added count two of allowing another person to drive while their license is suspended? Do you plead guilty to the reduced charge, or do you plead not guilty or stand mute and want a trial?
Guilty.
On or about February 16th of this year, were you driving a motor vehicle on East Carpenter Street in the city and county of Midland?
I was.
On that day, was your license suspended?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Dusso, have I complied with the court rule and had an adequate factual basis? I'm sorry, you're muted.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I believe I have as well. I find that the plea has been made knowingly, understandingly, voluntarily, and accurately, will enter in records of the court as allowing another person to drive while license suspended. Ms. Dobson, it gets a little confusing because I know you didn't allow somebody else to drive when their license was suspended, but the law lets me take a factual basis on a crime that you did do, which was driving while your license was suspended, and then I can apply it and make it as if you allowed somebody else to drive. All right. So, Ms. Dusso, was there a crash or anything I need to take into consideration regarding any restitution?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Dobson, is there anything you wish to say in your own behalf before I sentence you?
No.
What did we learn from this circumstance?
I learned not to drive without insurance or without a valid license ever.
That's a good lesson to learn. That's what we wanted to have done. All right. So you're good till August of 2024, it sounds like. So it must be your birthday, must be in August.
Yep.
All right. It's going to be the sentence of the court then that I will sentence you to $75 crime victim rights fee and a $50 state assessment fee. Both of those I have to sentence you to.
Okay.
The fine could be as high as $500, but you really, up until these incidences, really didn't have any criminal history. So I'm not going to hit you with the highest fine. I'm just going to charge you $125. And
Thank you.
court costs could be as high as $475. But again, we haven't put a lot of time into this case. And so I'm going to also charge just $125 for that as well. So
Okay.
you have 21 days to appeal the sentence, 14 days to request a court-appointed attorney to appeal the sentence. Otherwise, if you make a payment of $375, and I don't think you were arrested on this, so you probably don't have any bond money that can apply. So you'll need to there's 2 telephone numbers I'm going to give you. You make a decision as what you're going to do. If you're going to pay in full, and I'll wait till you get your pen.
Okay.
If you're going to pay in full, you call this number. Ready?
Yep.
It's 989-832-6718.
Okay.
If you need to make a payment plan, then you call this number, 989-832-6709.
Okay.
All right, we're all set for today. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Do we have Mr. Buckner?
Yes, sir. Yes.
All right, sir, if you would unmute yourself, we're going to call the case of the People, State of Michigan versus Jack Wilson Buckner, file 21-0466-ST. Would the prosecutor please identify themselves for the record?
Thank you, Patrick Swinsky for the People.
And sir, I'm hoping I pronounced it correctly, but would you tell me how to say your name correctly?
Jack Beekner.
Beekner. All right.
Mhm.
Let me make a phonic. I bet you that people have gotten that wrong a time or two in your life.
Once or twice.
All right. You're representing yourself today, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Shawinski, is there an offer for Mr. Beekner to consider?
There is, Your Honor. If he is able to obtain a valid license, show proof, or if we're able to determine his license is valid, he completed the allowing and then also the count two, the open-end tax.
All right. Mr. Beekner, do you understand what the offer means? Or would you like me to explain it?
I would like for you to explain it.
Okay. So it is against the law for you to drive when your license is suspended for any reason. If you get pulled over for that crime, it is a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail. We usually don't give that jail time on that unless you keep doing it over and over and over again. But that's the maximum, and a fine of up to $500 plus court costs. But on top of that, the Secretary of State then will suspend your license again. So when you finish up the first suspension, they'll suspend it again. It's also against the law to let somebody else drive when you know their license is suspended. So let's say that you've got a sister named Robin, and she doesn't have a driver's license. You know it. She keeps bugging you, comes over to your house, says she wants to go get some ice cream. And you say, Robin, you don't have a driver's license, but she keeps bothering you so much that you decide to let her drive. She gets pulled over. Guess what? You're both in trouble. She's for driving while license suspended, which hers will get, and you for letting her. But the difference between the two, for letting somebody drive their license is suspended, it's still up to 93 days in jail. It's still up to $500 in fines plus court costs. But that does not get sent to the Secretary of State's office, which means if you get your license back, you get to keep your license. So the prosecutor wants to make sure you're driving with a valid license. And so they make that offer to kind of give you an opportunity to get your license back. Do you understand the offer?
Yes, I do.
All right. It's a conditional offer, which means that you cannot accept it unless you have a valid driver's license. Do you have a valid driver's license right now?
Not at this moment.
Okay.
Or well, I do. It was suspended because of this. So did you clear up? Did you clear up the other issue that caused the suspension initially? I'm clearing it up. I have a court. I'm setting up a court date. I still have fines, but I'm paying said fines.
So approximately how long, if I adjourn this to give you time to get that done, do you think you would need?
If I was able to set up a court date this week, I have the funds to pay the ticket.
Okay. Katrina, why don't we get a date about 30 days out so that Mr. Beekner has an opportunity to clear up the other case?
Your Honor, if
And
I
then
could,
Deb,
August 3rd at 8:15. It's a little more than 30.
August 3rd at 8:15, you said?
Yes, sir.
8/3 at 8:15. All right, Deb, can you tell me if we have the $45 fee issue here in Midland County? Or in other words, are we blocking it in any way?
Your Honor, it doesn't appear that we are blocking it at all. He has two unpaid issues out of Hazel Park, the 43rd District Court.
Okay, you need to make a date with the 43rd District Court. Looks like they got two things.
Okay.
Get those cleared up.
Will do, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll see you. Same telephone number. I mean, same Zoom number. Everything exactly the same as you logged on today.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So on that date, though, if you plead to the reduced charge, you're going to have other fines and costs. It's going to be somewhere in the vicinity of about $350 to $400. So just so you're planning your finances.
Okay. I appreciate it, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. We'll be adjourned.
Yep.
Who do we have now? Devin Herbin.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. We are on the record of the people state
Your
of
Honor,
Michigan
he
versus-
is, I'm sorry, he's not connected yet.
Yeah, and he's kind of sideways.
Yeah, I'm going to bring in someone else just to make sure we can.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
I have a phone number ending in 6525. Could you tell us your name, please?
Matthew Indish.
All right. We are on the record. The people of the state of Michigan versus Matthew Indish. This is file 210492ST. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
Yeah, do somebody.
Matthew Indish.
All right. Mr. Indish, you're representing yourself today. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do so. Is there an offer for Mr. Indish to consider?
Yes, Your Honor. If he pleads guilty to driving while license suspended first offense, as well as agreeing to pay restitution to, I believe there was a crash in this case. The restitution amount I'm seeing in here is $1,086.50. We would dismiss the original charge of driving while license suspended second.
All right, Mr. Indish, do you understand what the offer means, or would you like me to explain it?
No, sir, I understand.
All right, your choice at this time is to accept the offer or have a trial on the original charge. What do you wish to do?
I'll accept the offer, Your Honor.
Okay. I can't see you because you're by telephone, but I'm going to trust you're telling me the truth. So I have my right hand in the air. Will you tell me if you have your right hand in the air?
Yes, I do.
All right. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
You can put your hand down now. Has anyone promised you anything more than what we've talked about on the record or threatened you in any way to get you to plead to this reduced charge when you really do not want to?
No, sir.
Are you right now under the influence of any medicine, drugs, or alcohol that's confusing you?
No, sir.
If you enter this plea, you will be waiving some rights. Those rights are to a trial by jury or judge, if you and the prosecutor agreed to that. Representation by an attorney, whether you hire one or if you qualified for a court-appointed attorney. You'd be waiving the right to remain silent and not have your silence used against you, and the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And finally, you'll be waiving the right to confront your accusers, to call witnesses, and to testify. Do you understand each of these rights?
Yes, sir.
You would have to waive these rights in order for me to accept the plea deal to the reduced charge. Do you waive these rights?
No, sir. Yes,
Okay,
sir. I'm sorry.
Hang on. You give me both answers. So the choice is, if you want to accept the offer, you'd have to waive the rights. If you want to have a trial, which is fine, you would not waive the rights.
I waived the rights, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's all right. It happens a lot. People get a little confused because you don't want to waive things and get nervous.
Yeah.
How do you plead then to count 2, which is added, of driving a license suspended first offense? Do you plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute?
Guilty.
On February 3rd, were you driving a motor vehicle in the city and county of Midland? Looks like on US 10. Part of it must be in the city.
Yes, sir.
That day, was your license suspended?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Dusto, have I complied with the court rule and had an adequate factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe I have as well. I find that the plea has been made knowingly, understandingly, voluntarily, and accurately. Will enter in records of the court as count 2, driving license suspended first offense. Count 1, driving license suspended second offense, will be dismissed. All right, Mr. Indish. Oh boy. Are you still on probation? It looks like you're on probation to the 7th Circuit for drunk driving third offense.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Like 17 years later, I made a mistake.
Do they know you had this new charge?
Yes, sir, Your Honor, they do.
Now, it looks like there's a warrant out for you out of the 67th in Flint for 2 different charges. Did you know about those?
Yes, I was supposed to have court dates for them, and I never got anything more in the mail. I guess I better get after that.
Yeah, I think so. All right, Ms. Dusso, you said the restitution amounts to $1,086.50.
That's correct. It's to an Andrew Braun.
Okay. Mr. Indish, are you currently employed?
No, sir. COVID.
COVID. What do you do when COVID's not taking care of you or taking you out of work?
I'm a bricklayer. I'm supposed to be going back to work soon.
All right. Well, you have 33 convictions. 33. Takes a lot of work to get to 33. A lot of drinking and driving, and you're on probation for drunk driving third offense. sends to the court that you'll pay $1,086.50 to Andrew Robert Braun. It'll be $75 crime victim rights fee and a $50 state assessment fee. I'm not going to issue any other fines or costs because that's a lot of restitution. I am going to sentence you to jail. So 60 days in jail. You will report by Friday, this Friday at 7 p.m. If you do not Friday, this Friday at 7 p.m. to serve that time, it will be 93 days for contempt of court. You got 33 different times.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. I'm 50 years old, Your Honor, and I need to drive to work. Most of them are all from driving to work, man. I mean,
You just told me you were been off on COVID, and
yeah, but when I'm going back to work, they're calling me back. I just talked to the guy. He said next week he's calling me back to work.
Well, hopefully they'll hold your job, because if you don't show up, we'll have a 93 days that you'll have to spend. So you need to be here by Friday at 7 p.m. And we do send police officers down to Flint area to pick people up to bring them here. So make sure that you don't test that.
Yep. Can I get work release, Your Honor?
If you can afford it, and the sheriff's for doing it, I have no objection you having work release, but you're going to have to bring the proof for that. Okay.
I got a friend of mine. That's where I've been going up there working on the flood houses. That's what I was doing up there.
Okay. Well,
no, I did some volunteer work, but I helped the guy jack up houses and do the masonry.
Yeah.
Put new masonry in, and
got it.
And
well,
he's got more work up. He's got more work up there.
Well, if you're employed, you make some decent money. If you can afford the sheriff's work release and they're doing it, I have no objection to that. But you have 33 different convictions. I can't look past that. And you still got some warrants out. So maybe you want to take care of those as well. So you have 21 days to appeal the sentence, 14 days to request a court-appointed attorney. Will be adjourned on your case, sir.
How about 30 days, Your Honor? Please, just one chance, man. Give me 30 instead of 60.
If the prosecutor had left it as originally was, that's up to a year. But I know they want to get the restitution, so that's why they dropped it down. They wanted that person you crashed into should be paid back. So it's 60. Although the jail does give jail credit. I think it's 1 for every 5 days spent. So 60 is not 60. 60 is less than that, but they'll tell you when you get there. All right, sir. Thank you.
I have Devin Herbin.
All right. I'm glad Mr. Herbin connected and turned his camera to the side. It was getting kind of tricky to catch him there. It's all right. We're on the record of the People, State of Michigan versus Devin Herbin, file 21-0478-ST. Would the prosecutor please identify himself for the record?
Yeah, do so on behalf of the people.
And Mr. Herbin, if you would state your name for the record.
Devin Herbin.
All right, today's time and date set for pre-trial in this case. Mr. Herbin, you're representing yourself. Do you wish to continue doing that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's do so. Is there an offer for Mr. Herbin to consider?
Your Honor, according to our reading of his Secretary of State information, it looks like he cleared the suspension on the same day after he was stopped. So as long as his license is still valid, I would offer for him to plead guilty to allowing driving while license suspended. We dismiss the driving while license suspended second.
All right. Deb, did you check the license for Mr. Herbin?
I did, Your Honor. I'm sorry, I did, Your Honor. He is valid until April 27th, 2023.
All right, Mr. Herbin, do you understand the offer then?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you wish to accept it?
I do, Your Honor.
Could you raise your right hand, please? I'll swear you in. Do you solemnly swear or affirm testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You can put your hand down now. Has anyone promised you anything more than what we've talked about on the record or threatened you in any way to get you to plead to this reduced charge when you really do not want to?
No, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any medicine, drugs, or alcohol that's confusing you?
No, Your Honor.
If you wish to accept this offer, you would have to waive your trial rights. Those trial rights are outlined on this advice of rights form I'm sharing with you now. Do you see the document? And at the bottom on the right-hand side, there is a signature. I want to know if that's yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you read this form before you signed it?
I did, sir.
Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you realize you're waiving all the rights on that form if you enter this plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you waive those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you plead then to an added count 2 of driving while license, count 2 of allowing another person to drive while their license was suspended? Do you plead guilty, not guilty, or stand mute?
Not guilty, or guilty, Your Honor, sorry.
All right. On April 5th of this year, were you operating a motor vehicle on Saginaw Road in Jerome Township, Midland County, Michigan?
Yes, Your Honor.
On that day, was your license suspended?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Have I complied with the court rule and had an adequate factual basis, Ms. Duso?
Yes, Your Honor.
I believe I have as well. I find that the plea has been made knowingly, understandingly, voluntarily, and accurately. Will enter in the records of the court as count 2, allowing another person to drive while license suspended. Count 1, driving while license suspended, second offense, will be dismissed. Ms. Duso, is there any restitution or any monies that were owed to anyone in this case?
No, Your Honor, there's no victim.
Okay. Mr. Herbin, how was it that you were able to clear your license so quickly?
It was actually a misunderstanding. It was a mistake on my end, Your Honor. It was from a ticket from November of last year that I thought I had taken care of. I found out that day that it was not taken care of. And within that hour of being pulled over, I took care of it. I didn't intentionally or purposely drive with it suspended. I didn't knowingly, but I admit fault to it because it was a mistake on my end. So I took care of that ticket within the hour of getting pulled over. That's pretty much what my explanation for that. It was just a misunderstanding and mistake on my end.
All right. A little better paperwork and you won't have this problem again, I suspect.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. Yes, I learned to learn from my mistakes.
All right. Well, I'm going to send you then to $75 crime victim rights fee and a $50 state assessment fee. Fines could be as high as $500. I usually don't do that high fine, but this is your 1, 2, 3, 4th time for driving a license suspended. Looks like 2014 was bad.
Yeah, it was quite a long time ago, Your Honor.
Yep, but as you said before, we got to learn from your mistakes. So I'm going to sentence you to $300 in fines, and court costs could be as high as $475. I'm going to do $250 for those. I'm just going to do fines and costs. It's going to sting you in the wallet a little bit, but hopefully this cements in your mind so that there's not another one 7 or 8 years from now. So that's $675 you owe. You have 21 days to appeal the sentence, 14 days to request a court-appointed attorney. To do that, I will give you 2 telephone numbers for you to call. If you wish to pay in full, you would call this number, 989, or you can just put it in your phone, either one. 832-6718. That's to pay in full. If you wish to make a payment plan, call 989-832-6709. All right. We're all set. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
I see Mr. Kronk, but we're still working through our 8 o'clocks. Do we have Gabrielle Millard? Katrina, I see you're muted, probably because someone's calling you.
Sorry, sir. Let me check one person really quick. I have an iPhone.
Yeah, we have Cecilia Williamson and Gabrielle Millard we're looking for.
I do not have.
There's somebody connecting right now, so we'll see who that is. Good morning. Could you tell me your name, please?
Deborah King.
All right, so Miss King is also for 9 o'clock. So I'm going to hang tight for just a second, Miss King. We'll get to your case. We have 2 more that were scheduled ahead of you, but they didn't show, so it should be pretty quick.
Okay. Neither of those are here, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
Neither are here, Your Honor, in the waiting room.
Okay. I don't see anyone in the courtroom. Is there anyone out in the lobby?
My camera is coming up. Give me 1 second, Your Honor, and I will check. I'm looking now. Bless you. I do not, I'm sorry, I've got one person that is on the corner of my camera. No, I do not see anybody, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to call first the case of the People State of Michigan versus Gabrielle Millard, 210476 ST. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
Hey, I do so on behalf of the people.
All right, today's time and date was set for 8:15 this morning. Notice was sent to Gabrielle Millard at 806 East Carpenter Street, Apartment 1, Midland, Michigan, 48640. It was sent on May 28th, notifying her to Zoom in to Zoom ID 679-494-0716, which is my Zoom ID account, on June 22nd at 8:15. It is 8:58. Ms. Millard did not appear. Therefore, a bench warrant will issue for her arrest. The bond is revoked. It will be a 48-hour bench warrant because it does not appear that she has benefited from the new statute, which says that you get 48 hours at least once. So that'll be a 48-hour type. We'll be adjourned on that case. We're calling the case of the People State of Michigan versus Cecilia Williamson, file 210467 ST. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
I say I do so on behalf of the people.
Today is the time, the date. Today's the date. The time was 8:15 for this case. Ms. Williamson was mailed notice of a pretrial at 8:15 this morning to be held by Zoom. Notice was sent to her home at 4075 South Isabella Road, apartment I-107 or II-07, Mount Pleasant, Michigan, 48858. That was sent on May 7th. She has failed to appear. See if she has benefited from the new process. It does not appear that she has benefited from the process. This will be a 48-hour time window. It is not considered by statute now a serious offense because it's driving a license suspended, as was the other one. Therefore, that's the 48-hour window as opposed to the immediate bench warrant. We'll be adjourned on that case this time. All right. Next file that I should call, Katrina.
Your Honor, I do have Mr. Garsky here and then Mr. Kronk.
Okay. Calling case then of People State of Michigan versus Deborah K. King, file 20-1457 SM. Counsel, identify yourselves for the record, please.
Thank you, Patrick Swinsky for the people.
Mr. Garsky, we can't hear you.
It looks like he froze, Your Honor, just so you're aware.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Durance.
All right. Sorry, everything locked up. So Marcus Garsky on behalf of Ms. King.
All right, today's time and date set for settlement conference. Mr. Garsky, is there an agreement that's been reached in this case?
Unfortunately, not yet, Your Honor. We're asking the matter to continue to a trial. It's my understanding that hopefully we could start trying cases in July, so we just ask the court for a trial date.
All right. Katrina, do we have a trial date for this case?
Your Honor, it was originally set for June 24th. We can set it to how, do you want it in July or August, sir?
Probably will need to be August.
Your Honor, that would be August 26th.
We have a settlement conference before that date on the 24th.
Yes, sir. 8:45.
Let me just check, Mr. Garsky, see how your client's doing on the pretrial services or on bond. Looks like we had a little bump in the road, but things are going well now. So unless there's a reason from the prosecutor's office for me to review bond, I think bond should stay in place.
No, I don't have any reason.
Yes, bond. Continue.
All right, bond will be continued. Ms. King, the next time we will have for this case, unless some agreement's been reached, will be August the 24th at 8:45. That will be by Zoom. The trial would be on August 26th, and I think the way we've got them scheduled, yours probably will go that day, just based on we only do trials about once a week because I've got to make sure I'm managing all of the prosecutors and all the defense attorneys and managing everybody's schedules. We try not to overload a date so that when you get a date, you know that you can rely on it. So if that changes, we'll let you know, but we think that August 26th would be the date for trial. All right, we'll be adjourned. You are free to leave.
Thank you.
Mr. King, excuse me, Mr. Durant, we have Mr. Kronk. Are you ready to proceed on that one?
Yes, I am, Your Honor.
All right, calling the case of the people, State of Michigan versus Joel Franklin Kronk II. This is file 21-0304 SM. Counsel, identify yourselves for the record.
Taya Deuce on behalf of the people.
Peter Durant, Joel Kronk, who's appearing via Zoom today.
All right, today is time and date set for settlement conference. Has there been an agreement reached in the case, Mr. Durant? Looks like we got a trial for this Friday.
That's correct, Your Honor. No agreement's been reached. We are ready to proceed to the bench trial this Friday.
Okay. Anything's changed from the people's perspective?
No, Your Honor, we're ready as well.
Okay. Looks like he's doing everything we'd asked him to do on bond. So we will see everyone Friday for the bench trial. And then that'll be here. That'll be here live. And I think by Friday we will not need to wear masks. We're the state of Michigan Supreme Court has said that the mask mandate now has been lifted. However, they leave it to the discretion of each individual county. And so we just found that out about 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. We're checking with the health department to see if they agree, because we want to make sure that we're compliant with our local health director. So just bring one in case. Chances are you will not need one, but just have one in your back pocket in case you need to have it. All right.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. We'll see you Friday.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Durant, we have looks like we have Miss Gould. We did. There we go. She's back. All right. Calling the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Megan Gould, file 20-1100 SM. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
Thank you, Patrick Swinsky for the people.
Peter Durant on behalf of Megan Gould.
All right. Today's time and date set for a settlement conference. Mr. Durant, if we reached an agreement in this case or not?
As far as I remember, there's been no offer, so we're ready to proceed to jury trial, which I understand jury trials are pushed to July.
All right. Excuse me, Mr. Swinsky, is there an offer in the case or not?
There was multiple things I was considering. A lot of it was contingent on how she was doing in her CPS case, and that didn't go very well, unfortunately. So no, I don't have an offer at this point, so I'd ask to be set for trial.
Looks like there's no longer a case in probate court.
No, there's not.
All right.
August 26th, Your Honor, again.
I'm sorry, August 26th?
Yes, sir.
All right, August 26th and August 24th. So August 24th at 8:45 will be the settlement conference. The jury trial is scheduled for August 26th. We do have a couple of them. That's the reason why we need to meet on Tuesday to figure out which one will go. So at this time, the defendant's not on any type of conditional bond. We had ordered that the probate court follow. We'd follow the probate court orders. Probate court orders are no longer in effect because the case has been resolved. And I presume the child that was the child that's the victim in this case was the focus of the probate court case, Mr. Durant?
That's correct, Your Honor.
So if she's released her rights on that child, I presume there's no reason for her to have contact with the child.
That's my understanding as well.
All right, I'm going to put a no contact order in place because we did not put any orders in place. But that's that will be one of the bond terms added for no contact. There's no reason to have contact if she's no longer has parental rights to the child. All right, we'll be adjourned until August 24th. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do we have Mr. Prather? Oh, Ms. Gould, you're free to go. Oh, looks like she took off.
And then here's Mr. Prather.
Okay. Mr. Prather? Looks like he is not connected yet. There we go. He sees us now. All right, we're calling case of the People, State of Michigan versus James Leroy Prather Jr., file 20-1448 SM. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
I think I do so on behalf of the people.
Peter Durance on behalf of James Prather, who is appearing via Zoom today.
All right, today's time and date set for settlement conference. Mr. Durance, is there any agreement reached in this case?
Plea offer has been made by the prosecutors. At this time, we are not accepting that offer, and we would like to continue to jury trial.
All right, Katrina, let's use the 24th and 26th then.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Durance, may I explain the process to Mr. Prather?
Yes, of course, Your Honor.
Mr. Prather, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
We now have been cleared to do jury trials, but as you can imagine, we've been backed up for about a year. So what we do is take the oldest cases and we're going through them as we can. We're giving you a date of August 24th and August 26th. August 26th would be the jury trial. The 24th would be a check-in date, because sometimes when people get right down to it and they have to have a trial, sometimes they make a decision and not have a trial. So right now, you're scheduled with about 4 or 5 other cases that are at the same time. I'm going to take the oldest one. So how do I pick the oldest date? The oldest date is who got arraigned first. When you first were told about the charges, everybody has that date. Whoever has the oldest date, that's the date it goes, unless there's some witness problem. So on the 24th, it'll be by Zoom, and we'll have a pretty good idea as to which case is the oldest case. And then what I do is, if you're not on the 26th, then we try to move you to a date, because obviously your case eventually will be one of the oldest ones, and then we'll get to it. But August 24th is when you get a check-in, just like you did today, same number, same information. And then, but the good news is we can actually do trials now. So we're going to try to get through them as quickly as we can, but it is what it is. It built up over a year, so it's going to take some time. It will not take a year to clear it up. We're going to get to them as fast as we can, but we're kind of limited on how many we can do at one time. All right. Is there any issue we need to address as far as bond? Looks like he's doing well on bond as far as I can see.
I missed one class.
Yep, but it looks like you're doing really well. It says the therapist says you're engaging, you're using skills, and seem to be getting out of it. And the report is you seem to be liking the classes that we're getting anyway. So I don't see a reason to modify it unless there was a request by the people or defense.
Nothing from the people.
Nothing from the defense right now, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, keep up the good work, Mr. Prather. We'll see you on August 24th, and hopefully we'll have a pretty secured. That'll give it. Well, we're going to start trials on July 8th, and so we're going to start clearing that backlog up, and we'll have an idea as to where we're at. A lot better idea at the end of August.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have?
I have Mr. Schuster, Your Honor.
Okay. Calling case of the
trial this Friday.
Okay. Calling case of the People, State of Michigan versus Cade Schuster, file 21-0506 ST. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
I think I do so on behalf of the people.
Mr. Schuster, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
All right, today's time and date set for a settlement conference. We have a bench trial scheduled for 11 a.m. this Friday. Ms. Dusso, is there any offers for Mr. Schuster to consider, or are we still moving towards the bench trial?
Your Honor, if I could have just 1 second. I'm in the process of pulling up the case here. It does not look like there's any offer. He's got a little bit of a driving history, and obviously with the commercial motor vehicle issue, it appears that he did not have a CDL when he was required to. Unless he has since obtained a CDL, I would consider extending an offer at that point, but I don't believe that is the case.
All right, Mr. Schuster, do you have a CDL now or no?
I do not.
Okay, are you planning on getting one or no?
Nah, in the near future. But the reasoning the reasoning behind the not having the CDL was my boss told me that I was okay to drive it. He thought we only needed a chauffeur's license, and he told me that I was okay to drive it.
Okay.
So,
Well, I will hear the case on Friday then. Then I'll
okay.
make my decision on that. All right.
Okay.
See,
All right.
that'll be here. So you need to come to the courthouse on that day.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I suspect you will not need a mask, but bring one with you because we haven't lifted it yet, but I think we will. So just have one with you.
All righty. Sounds good.
All right. We'll be adjourned. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Goodbye. Calling the City of Midland versus Jet One Williams, file 210356OT. Would the city attorney please identify himself for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. James Branson, on behalf of City of Midland.
Okay. Do we have Jet One Williams, Katrina?
Your Honor, I'm not sure. I do not have him in the waiting room, and I brought in the person with the iPhone that I need to have him identify himself.
All right, sir, who's an iPhone, looks like you're walking around outside.
Yes, Brian Sickfoos.
Okay, well, we do have you scheduled for today, but we don't have you. But at this point, we've got to finish up the case that we're looking for. So just stay put, right where you're at, and we will move on to Mr. Branson's case. We'll call your case in just a minute, Mr. Sickfoos. All right, Mr. Branson, have you had any contact with the defendant in this case?
No, Your Honor, not since we had our June, what was it? I'm sorry, May 4th. We did have something. He showed up late that day and he was still suspended, but he had a Secretary of State date on June 16th. So the court offered him the opportunity to move this out to today, which was after his Secretary of State date, and was scheduled for 8:45 this morning.
All right, well, let me just check. I do need to have the defendant here to do the case, but Deb, did you happen to check Mr. Williams' driving record?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. That is one I don't have. I'm happy to run it real quick.
If you would, please. We may as well know the answer to the question in case Mr. Williams is late once again.
Your Honor, unfortunately, he is still suspended.
All right, well, the defendant was given notice to be here by Zoom at 8:45. The time is 9:15. He has failed to appear now another time by Zoom. His address, we mailed this to, is 3822 Brown Street, Flint, Michigan on May 4th. We also told him when he did appear for the next date. A bench warrant will issue immediately because he has already benefited from the statutes. So it will be adjourned. Bond is revoked.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Branson. Katrina, it looks like we have a few at the 9 o'clock slot that we need to address.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sickfoos being one of them. All right, calling the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Brian Sickfoos, file 210554ST. Counsel, please identify himself for the record.
Hey, I do so on behalf of the people.
Mr. Sickfoos, could you please state your name for the record?
Brian Sickfoos.
Mr. Sickfoos, I'm sorry, I missed the A in that. We set you for the 9 o'clock time slot, which tells me at some point you told somebody that you were planning on hiring a lawyer. You must have changed your mind.
No, I didn't. So my work company I work for has an attorney, and he has not been able to be contacted. I spoke with my boss this morning, and he said he was still trying to get a hold of him this morning. but he hasn't been able to get a hold of them. With that being said, I figured I had to be present.
Yep, it's good that you did appear. Let's see if there's an offer for you to consider. That way, if you do get in contact with the attorney, you can talk it over with the attorney. Let's do so. Is there an offer for Mr. Sigafus to consider?
Your Honor, it depends on whether he's got a valid CDL at this point. If he did, I would entertain a civil infraction. If not, then it would just be a plead guilty with the presumption that the sentence would be fines and costs.
Okay. Mr. Sigafus, do you have a valid CDL?
No. And I tried applying. I am not qualified or whatever until next May to get my CDL. But with this whole process, my work has stated, and I have the paperwork not actually on me, but on my phone, that it was a mislabeled issue with Michigan Cat. It's a newer trailer, and they had it tagged as a 14,000-pound trailer. We have the new registration. It's retagged. It's proper now. It was a mess up on Michigan Cat, who they bought the trailer from, and my work was under the understanding that it was proper, which puts me under having to have a CDL.
So it's mislabeled. Mislabeled meaning that the tag on it showed that it weighed more than it did, or the
Correct.
tag. Okay, so the weight is actually less than what was on the tag.
Correct. And we have it's been Michigan Cat relabeled it. It was actually on the title. I never saw it. I guess I didn't ask to see, the registration, whatever, for the trailer. It was all new equipment for a new job that we got.
Hang on just a second. Let's do this. I'm going to set this out about 30 days for you to get in contact with the attorney. But in the interim, if you provide that to the prosecutor, the information you have, maybe they would consider that, take that into consideration and make an offer if it was mislabeled. Because if it didn't weigh as much as that you needed a CDL, then that would be a good defense. But that's up to you. I'm going to give you 30 days, but you're going to have to put some heat on to get that attorney to respond.
Correct.
All right.
And I think a lot of it's been my work. I let them know what was going on. Hey, I got a court date coming up. So yeah, my work apologized or whatever, but they have to get on it. Yes, you're right.
Okay. Katrina, can we get the new date for Mr. Sigafus to consider?
Yes, Your Honor. That would be August 3rd at 10 a.m.
All right. So you got a little over a month, about 6 weeks to get these folks going. In the interim, if you do get the attorney and get in contact with the prosecutor, maybe it gets resolved before then but you were right to jump on the phone on the court date. Never miss a court date. So the next time will be August 3rd. At what time, Katrina?
10 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock? You were breaking up a little bit.
Yes, Your Honor.
10 o'clock on August 3rd, 8-3 at 10.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Looks like we have Mr. Furlow.
Yes, I'm here, sir.
All right, calling the case of the People State of Michigan versus Andrew Michael Furlow, file 210486ST. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
I do so on behalf of the people.
Mr. Furlow, if you would please state your name for the record.
Yes, sir. Andrew, Andrew, Michael, Michael, Furlow, Furlo.
All right, today's time and date set for pretrial. Mr. Furlow, our notes indicate that you were planning on hiring your own attorney. You must have changed your mind.
No, I actually just obtained some work to obtain money to get it. And I was also waiting on my stimulus check, which was supposed to be here a couple of weeks ago. But the last time I called the IRS a couple of days ago, they said it should be here within a week or two. So I just couldn't do it financially yet. So I'm kind of in a hard spot right now.
Okay.
I just don't know if there's any way I can.
You're requesting some time then?
I mean, if possible, yes, sir. I mean, I would like a little time because I am in the process of trying to get my license back. I filled out the entire packet that the Secretary of State wanted me to fill out and did everything that they wanted me to do. And I'm waiting for their response. So I'm like I haven't had my license, sir, since I was 16. And to be completely honest with you, since then, I've spent 11 years in prison. And for the first time in my life, I'm doing really good. I successfully completed my parole in April. And I have been doing really good. And I just really, really would like to try to see if there's anything an attorney could do for me to not prolong not having my license for another few years. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, we'll grant you an adjournment for a settlement conference. Katrina, we have the date and time, please. If you provided it, you were muted.
I apologize, sir. August 3rd at 10 a.m.
August 3rd at 10 a.m., Mr. Furlow.
Should give me plenty of time. I greatly appreciate the extra time.
Good luck. We'll see you August 3rd. Same, you log in exact same way you did today.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. We'll be adjourned. Do we have Jasmine Herr?
Your Honor, I do not have Jasmine.
Do we have anybody in the waiting room, the virtual waiting room?
No, Your Honor, the virtual waiting room is clear. I do not have Dante Tyson or Jasmine Herr. Let me verify that they do not have attorneys.
All right, calling
Either
case
have
of
an
the People's
attorney, Your
State-
Honor.
They do not, you said?
That is correct.
Calling case of the People's State of Michigan versus Jasmine Marie Herr. This is file 210475 ST. Counsel, identify yourself for the record.
I do so on behalf of the people.
All right, today's time and date that was set for June 22nd at 9 o'clock. The defendant was to be here by Zoom. It is 9:25. Notice was sent to 209 North 7th Street, Pullman, Michigan 48618 on May 28th. She's failed to appear. A bench warrant will issue for her arrest. It will be a 48-hour type of bench warrant because I do not see that she has benefited from the new statutes. So we'll be adjourned on that case, but the warrant will issue after 48 hours. Now calling the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Dante Tyson, file 210213 ST. Counsel, identify yourself for the record in this file.
Thank you, Patrick Chwinski for the people.
Today's time and date set for a pretrial in this case. Katrina, is there anyone in the virtual waiting room?
No, Your Honor.
I don't see anyone. There's no one in the courtroom with me.
No one in the hallway either, Your Honor.
All right. The defendant was the notes in this case are a little bit confusing. There was a bench warrant that was issued. Katrina, I'm trying to determine how he had notice of this hearing. I see item 36 in the scanned documents for affidavit and a bench warrant to be generated on May 4th. And then I'm trying to determine any other notified in person, but I don't see what. There was a recalled warrant. Here's a notice to appear on May 18th. All right. Notice to appear at 9 o'clock today, June 22nd, by Zoom. The defendant was personally served on May 18th of this date and time. He's failed to appear. Bench warrant will issue. Bond is revoked. It is an immediate bench warrant. He has already benefited from the statutes of having the delay. Will be adjourned. Is that it till 9:45?
Your Honor, I do have one more. That would be Michael James, who's in the Midland County Jail with Mr. Burton.
At 9 o'clock?
Yes, sir.
All right. Calling the cases of People
Your Honor,
Michigan versus. What?
Mr. James is not present in the,
Oh, okay. I thought you said that he was. I didn't.
I'm waiting. I'll call again to check on the status.
All right. We're going to step off for a minute then and stop the recording here in the courtroom.
Who's got James?